Hello and welcome to Shauns Take, brought to you by the Keystone Sports Network. Here are your hosts, Jim and Shaun.
Hello and welcome to Shauns Take, brought to you by the Keystone Sports Network. I'm Jim Galante. He is Shaun Gold. Shaun, how we doing this week? It's championship week.
It is, and it's crazy how fast it goes, Jim. It doesn't seem like that long ago when we were getting ready for week one of college football. It has been, I think, a exciting, chaotic season, and I'm just going to say it. I don't think we're done with any of the chaos just yet.
And we've got the conference championships games coming up, and they're meaningful. They really are. I think, let's see, maybe 3 of the 5 that we're looking at today will determine a playoff team. The other 2, the big conferences, Southeast Conference and Big Ten, it'll affect seeding. So there's something going on there, and those are 2 interesting matchups. So, hey, how about we dive right into it? And probably the group of 5 representative is going to be determined by North Texas versus Tulane for the AAC championship. This game is being played in New Orleans, which is, interesting, with North Texas and specifically Tulane. North Texas, a 2.5-point favorite.
Jim, this is, I think, going to be a phenomenal game here. I think it's a hard one to predict as well. People don't know these teams as well as you maybe know Alabama and Georgia this year. It's going to be an exciting football matchup. I encourage everyone to tune into it. I'm listening to the spread in this game. North Texas is a 2.5-point favorite. That's where I think this is going to go. Tulane's had a great year. They've been the highest ranked group of 5 team, a couple different times this season. I think this is North Texas's game here. I think they're favored for a reason. I'm going to listen to the market on that, and I'm rocking with North Texas to cover and win.
I get it. And North Texas, an exciting team. I mean, this is a team that 7 times this season they put up over 50 points, Shaun. Makes this a fascinating. The over-under on this one is 66.5 points, which it's kind of interesting. So I think we're looking for an exciting game. We're looking for a game with a lot of points going out there. But we've now reached the point at the end of the season where I try to look at a team's full resume. What are the wins that stand out to me? And Tulane, they've got wins over Power 4 teams. They've got a win over Northwestern. They've got a win over Duke, who, by the way, is playing for the ACC championship. I know it's only at 7-5, but I like those wins. I'm going with Tulane in this one. The next one, Shaun, let's go Big 12, BYU, Texas Tech. BYU, despite 11-1, they're a 12.5-point underdog.
Jim, this is the second time we get to see these 2 teams go head-to-head. Look, I think Texas Tech is a better team. I think Texas Tech, not that I think anyone is going to beat Ohio State in the playoffs, but I think Texas Tech is going to make an interesting run here. However, BYU played pretty decent defensively in their first matchup. Their offense, however, was completely non-existent. This Texas Tech defense is not an easy one to get up points against. I think in the second time around, though, BYU's offense will adjust a little bit. I don't think they're winning this game, but I do think they can cover this spread. Give me a Texas Tech 10-point victory here in this one where they still command the game, but I think BYU keeps it close enough to cover, Jim.
Again, I'm looking at the full resume here, and Texas Tech, they don't just win. They put these teams away. They win big. So that spread, I think, is reflective of how Texas Tech plays. The fact is, you're right. BYU holding Texas Tech to a mere 29 points was a big deal. In 10 of Texas Tech's 11 wins, they've scored over 30 points. 8 times they've scored over 40 points. They rack up the points. I'm going with Texas Tech in this one. I know it's a big number, Shaun. In fact, I changed my mind. All week I thought I was going to go with BYU. I've now shifted on that. I'm going with Texas Tech. All right. Here's a big one in Atlanta. It's Georgia and Alabama. Georgia, the 2.5-point favorite.
So, Jim, before I give a prediction, and this does not sway my prediction on this one, Do you think a 3-loss Alabama team, if they lose this game, is still in the playoffs? We're seeing Texas with 3 losses trying to make their case with one really, I guess, good losses at the end of the day. You lose to some really good teams and also have, some big wins. So does a 3-loss Bama team still get into the playoffs if they lose in the conference championship game?
It's an interesting question. First, I'm going to start answering your question about Texas. They lost 3 games. Don't lose to Florida. Don't lose to Florida. Last year, I said Alabama, don't lose to Vanderbilt, and you'd get in. This year, it's don't lose to Florida. So with Texas, I think they're out. Now, I understand the committee established a year ago. They're not going to punish teams too much for losing the conference championship game and having that extra game. So it's going to be an interesting test to see, because what it might turn into is, I think it could be the tiebreaker. If you're between 2 teams, the game happened. You have to count it. Mm-hmm. So again, maybe Alabama gets style points if it goes into overtime. But if I'm like, these 2 teams after the regular season, pretty much identical, I will punish Alabama for a 3rd loss in the conference championship game.
Well, I don't think it matters, because Roll Tide, Jim, I like Alabama to cover this and actually win this game. I know it's hard to beat the Georgia Bulldogs twice in the same season, but I think that's what Alabama's going to do here. I think that Ty Simpson is going to play a great game at quarterback. I think Kalen DeBoer is going to coach a great game. And obviously, Smart is going to coach a great game plan for Georgia as well. This is going to be a great coaching battle here. But I just think the cards are lining up for Alabama to get another win here, be the SEC champion. And we've said it a lot of times, take their week 1 loss away. And I know they picked up a 2nd loss, but they've been one of the best teams in football when they're at their best. I think they're at their best in this game here, Jim.
Again, I'm going to go look at resumes. I know Georgia, tough to beat. Give them credit for winning games, but they've had a lot of close calls. They've had 4 one-score wins, okay? Meanwhile, Alabama, the other thing I like to look at is they win on the road. They beat Georgia on the road. They beat Missouri on the road. They beat South Carolina on the road. All impressive wins. Now, this is neutral field in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? So it's kind of a road game for Alabama. I like the Crimson Tide also. I think the resume shows they're built to win this type of game. All right. How about this for a big one? Number 1 versus number 2, Big Ten, Indiana, Ohio State. The Buckeyes, a 4.5-point favorite.
By far they're the game I'm most excited for out of all these championship games, because I really want to see how good is the number 2 team in the country. How good is Indiana when you stack up against Ohio State? Last year we saw they were clearly outmatched. This year it's looking a little different. But Jim, we've talked about this all year long. Until somebody gives Ohio State a real test, I can't pick against them. Give me the Buckeyes -4.5 here. I just don't think anybody's on the same level. I think Indiana is a really, really good team and could perhaps beat any other team in the country. I just can't take them against the Buckeyes.
I've been calling Ohio State the best team in the country. They deserve to be number 1. But I think if you switch names on the resume, you could look at Indiana and what they've done, and they could lay claim to being number 1. And again, I like their ability to win on the road. They won at Iowa, perhaps the biggest win. They won at Oregon. I know Penn State's a different kind of team, but Penn State played well against Indiana. Indiana found a way to win that close game. It's being played in Indianapolis also. You've given me 4.5 points. I'm going with Indiana in this one. All right. Our final game. This one's fascinating. ACC, Duke 7-5, Virginia, the quietest 10-2 in the country. Virginia, a 3.5-point favorite.
Well, first off, who would have thought this would be the ACC championship game heading into this season when we had Miami and we had Clemson and we had exciting rosters here? We get Duke and Virginia here, and I think it's actually going to be a very exciting game. Jim, for this one, I'm going to take a card out of your book. You're a big Manny Diaz guy. I think he's going to have his team prepared in this game. I know Virginia is, on paper, with their record, the better team in this matchup. But I just think Manny Diaz is going to have his squad ready. Duke really shouldn't have been in the ACC championship game. They found a way. I think they take advantage of it and perhaps even pull off an upset to get an automatic playoff bid as an 8-5 team at the end of the day.
Well, that's the thing. There's a chance if Duke wins that they won't get in the playoffs because it's not the Big Four conference championships. It's with the best, highest ranking. Hey, Tulane could end up higher ranked than Duke, maybe another Group of 5 team. So don't count that playoff game yet for Duke. And as much as I'm a Manny Diaz fan, Duke, again, looking at the resume, where's their impressive win? I don't see it. Meanwhile, Virginia beat them earlier, 34-17. I say the Cavaliers do it again in this one, Shaun. All right. As always, fingers crossed for a good week. We'll see you all next week when we'll start talking about the playoffs. We'll see you then.
Keystone Sports Network.